It's that time again. It's the Burky and the Badger Board Game Babble Show. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wacky. It might even get a little zany. We're going to talk about board games and the board game industry. And, you know, we might talk about anything else we want to talk about.
Hey. We're live, the Burky and Badger Board Game Babble Show.
Woohoo! It's 9 o'clock at night here in France, and it's
2 p.m. Central Standard Time in lovely Minnesota. Hey, excited for this show, man. I am just pumped, Barry. The topic that we're going to talk about today, I'm just really jazzed about. And I just love the fact that, you know, I got friends all the way across the world, across the pond, the Atlantic Ocean, and you in France. And this is just awesome there, Sir Barry Dublé.
No. It's Mr. Badger, if you please.
Oh, Mr. Badger, yes. So how you been, my friend?
Yeah, I've been okay. I've been working, which has been fun. And I take it we're going to jump straight down to there. Small talk. The weekend I went to a convention here in France called Paris Ludique. And I was hoping to have lots of hot news and exciting things for you, but my family has been cursed.
Oh,
Burky.
No.
Yes, my family is cursed. Let me go back to the beginning. The first convention I went to was Lowdown here in France, up at Lille. And it was our first convention. We didn't know what to expect. And it was a big hall, and it was packed with some of the big name publishers here in France, like Yellow and the other ones. Asmodee, sorry, I'm forgetting. Fun Forge, lots of games there. So we didn't know what to do as a family, and we went along and we saw it, and it was fun. And then we left early, and on the way home, my wife decided to stop off at another village because there's a nice old style village in Lyon. So we went there, and my daughter actually fell over and banged her head on the cobbled pavestones there. And so we had to spend the rest of that night in hospital. And then there was Essen. We went to Essen one year, and my wife had sciatic in her back, and she was in pain. And we'd planned to go for 3 days, and we ended up staying like about 6-7 hours in one day. So that event went to pants. And so guess what happened this weekend?
Oh, no. What happened this weekend?
We went, and we were there for a couple of hours, and we had to go to hospital again.
No.
So I spent about 7 hours looking at the walls of a hospital in Paris, and my daughter kept asking, "Where's the Eiffel Tower, Daddy? I can't see it." So I've been cursed. Whenever I go to a convention, I end up staying a bit, and then not seeing the rest, and probably ended up in hospital. So
no. Was it you were in the hospital, or was it your wife that got hurt?
It was my wife collapsed, but she's fine. Don't worry, don't panic. Everything's okay with her. She's just a load of circumstances that happened at once, and it was too much for her. She saw Bruno Fiduti, and she passed out.
I love you, Bruno Fiduti and Bruno Cafala.
And what about you then, Burky? What have you been up to?
Oh, it's been crazy here too. Like life for you has been busy. Life for me has been really busy. Been super exciting. My baby, my daughter Gabrielle, actually graduated from high school, and she was taking college classes also, but she's actually graduated. So we had big family get together and graduation. I smoked lots of barbecue pork loin, and we ate well.
I wonder what you were going to say, that you smoked lots of like a student.
No, not that stuff. Just meat.
Okay.
But we had my dad came up from North Dakota where he lives, and we had an awesome time with that. And my dad, he likes to play cards and poker and things like that, but not much for board games. But we pulled out Ink and Gold, and we pulled out Roll For It, a couple, entry-level type games that are fun and are enjoyable. But then we did something kind of classic. We sat and played several hands of cribbage. And it's kind of funny. You play cribbage?
No, never.
Well, cribbage is just a fun little 120-point card game where you're trying to get matches and runs. And anyway, it's a basic card game. But man, we just had a great time playing. And I have to say, I took a couple quarters off my dad that day.
Playing for money, hey?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do that with my daughter.
It's more like jelly beans, just jelly beans. But other than that, we've been just keeping real busy doing some fun stuff like that. We're in the middle of a production right now of our 3rd episode of Board Game Theater. I'll show you a little preview. Nobody else has seen this, okay? Nobody's seen this.
Okay.
First time ever, live on the Burky and Badger show. Look at this. Here it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, baby.
Salute the captain.
Oh, he looked, doesn't he?
He looks very Babylon 5-y.
Well, he's the cunning captain from the game Star Realms, which is our next episode. There may be a possibility that you'll have some very intimate familiarity with this game.
Yes, it's looking at me on the shelf over there saying, play me, and I still haven't played it! Ah!
Yeah, we love Star Realms, and we filmed this last Saturday night, and we've got some fun stuff planned, and we've got Marty from Rolling Dice and Taking Names. It's going to be doing a cameo, and Sue Sheldon from a Board Game Breakfast, and possibly the indubitable, incomparable Barry Dublé will be making a cameo.
I'm practicing.
It's going to be awesome. So anyway, super excited about that. But along with this graduation with my daughter, we're going to Dice Tower Con. First time we've ever been there. Love the Dice Tower. Have heard such great things about this con. And so for my graduation present to my daughter, we are going together. Just her and I are flying down there, going to the con. We're going to take in a couple theme parks, but pretty much just going to enjoy a great time of gaming, and super pumped about all that.
It sounds fantastic. It sounds fantastic. Stop flicking with the buttons, Barry. Oh! Right, Burky, do you want to give a rundown of what's going to be occurring on this show tonight? Or this
I'll tell you.
For you?
Well, we have some things that make you go, That's our news segment. We've got the good, the not so bad, and the ugly segment. And today's theme, we've got something that's very timely, very apropos for what's happening in pop culture media right now. We've got the latest release of Jurassic World. And so our theme today is Jurassic Park for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Go through our through those in just a few moments, but then
Which one's that?
And then that's not the one we wanted to do.
No.
We are also going to go through our Babble section, and what we're talking about today in the Babble is gaming awards, their relevance, all kinds of information regarding to that. And if you're joining us live, we would love to have you join us with questions. You can connect with us on Twitter, or you can connect with us through the Hangout with questions, and we would love for you to participate in that kind of thing. And if we have some time, we might have another segment that's called If They Can Talk. We'll see how it all goes here for the time of the show. So
stunning.
Basically, Barry, if you want to start it off with the news, things that make you go,
Yes, welcome to the news. Yes, this is the news, and we're going to talk about things that make us go,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, for me, what do I have? Stop the music. Hey, like that. Live show. This is, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, live show. Now, I only picked up a few bits and pieces from my weekend in Paris. I was expecting to go there and play the expansion for Takenoko, which is the Chibis. And I was expecting to go and play the Abyss expansion called Kraken, but that never happened. But the information I did come away with is Cocktail Games, who make those lovely little small games that come in square boxes. They are changing their boxes for nicer boxes.
Ah. They must be metal boxes, huh?
They're metal boxes. But they're nicer. And that's all the news I have.
Oh, no.
I could say that Star Realms is coming to Europe, France, and other countries like Spain. And it's been brought by Yellow Games. They're transferring it over. That was one little snippet that I saw. So all the French people would be able to play the game in French instead of in English.
Was there some long-awaited expansions that you were thinking about?
What, for Star Realms?
No, for some other games that were coming out.
There was. Oh, my brain has gone to mush. I should have wrote it down on this piece of newspaper.
It's from one of your French designers, Bruno, one of the Brunos.
He said, scratching his. I wish I had a beard to stroke.
Can we say Abyss? Can we say Abyss?
I did say Abyss. Did I not say Abyss?
No, you didn't.
Yes, I said Abyss. I said Abyss, the Kraken expansion.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. Well, tell me about it. See?
Well, I didn't play it, so I can't tell you nothing about it, I'm afraid.
Hey, I love that game, though. We just played Abyss at our last game night, and I did horribly at it. Had the lowest score that I've ever scored. It just the way it worked out. But that game is just fantastic. So if they've got an expansion coming out, I'm all in.
Yeah, I think it involves black pearls. So, you got the white pearls, but this is black, kind of like a cursed pearl. I think I've heard that it's reminiscent of like Lords of Waterdeep. The cursed section, but that's just
like the Skullport expansion.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I got a couple things that are happening. One of the things with Star Realms that you mentioned is coming to France. They also, not only are we working right now with them to put out an episode for Star Realms, but the designers have come up with a new game called Epic, the card game. And this is basically a Star Realms-ish type of game mechanism. It's a little bit different, but in the fantasy genre. The Kickstarter is blowing the doors out. I've got to tell you, it's going nuts. I think they're almost at $300,000 on the Kickstarter. So that's very exciting for Rob and Darwin, those guys at White Wizard Games. So that's very exciting. One of my favorite games that we've played, Barry, has an expansion coming out, and it's from Stone Age. And I am super excited about that.
What does it do?
Well, it does some expansions. I haven't even looked at it yet.
It comes with a wheel. So
and
you
fire.
Can cart your woman back to your house so you can make 2 babies.
Yeah, it has all kinds of fun stuff, I'm sure. I actually haven't gotten a chance to review it, but I saw the news that it was coming out and it's available. There's another thing that's kind of interesting that I saw is from Grok Gaming. It's a company out of Canada, but they're making custom gaming mats. And I've actually talked to the owner, Steve is his name, and at Grok Gaming Mats, what they're actually doing is you can send in a custom graphic, and they will either make you a vinyl or a canvas mat, and they make it in a variety of different sizes. Yeah, it's very cool.
you can make a map for putting your starship figures on, and for X-Wing and Armada and things like that, yeah?
Absolutely. They've got kind of generic type of mats for like Dice Tower or for Dice Masters. They've got some Star Wars related type of things, but they can custom design a map for you. So if you've got a special game and you want to send them an image, they'll actually do that. I think there's only about 17 days left on the Kickstarter, but you can get a 36 by 36 map, and I think they were about $25, $30. So it was really quite reasonable, actually. So that's kind of a neat thing that I thought was interesting. One thing, too, this is news related, in a sense, is just for the Burky and Badger listeners, we've got our good friend Robert Searing from Insert Here. And Robert makes these wonderful foam inserts. And the foam inserts that he has are on his site, searingme.com, searing.me.com, or .me, excuse me. And you can get 15% off just by putting in BGT15 as the coupon code. You save 15% on an awesome insert.
Wow, that's really kind of Rob. We'll have to get him on the show one day, Burky.
That would be awesome. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is. He's super friendly, super gentle, super in the game. I bet he's a real he attacks from behind and sticks knives in your back. I bet he's a player like that. But he's like really nice on the outside.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. He's going to be at Gen Con. We're going to actually get together and play some games and have some fun. So that'll be great. Well, I guess it's time for the good and the bad and the ugly segment.
Play. It is time for the good, the bad, and the ugly segment. As soon as Barry turns up the volume and pushes play.
The good, the not so bad. Wait for it. And the ugly.
Well, I'll go through
Device skills.
our scale for the good, the not so bad, and the ugly. This week, our theme is the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. And for our good caption, we have, here we go. Like you say, this is live, everybody. There's the good. And for the not so bad, we've got an interesting character for the not so bad.
Would you like me to do it?
Yeah.
Have you got it?
There it is. Now, why did we pick T-Rex for not so bad? Well,
yeah, why did we pick the T-Rex for not so bad?
Well, you remember at the end of Jurassic Park, you know, the raptors were going trying to take everybody out, and T-Rex comes to the rescue. Rah! Well, then I don't want to do any spoiler problems with those of you that haven't seen Jurassic World yet. Let's just put it this way. T-Rex makes an appearance. There you go. And for the ugly, here we go. Here's the ugly.
That'd be me. That'd be me. I've got it. There you go. There's the ugly. He's evil. He's torturous.
Newman.
I can't remember that film that well.
Well, that was a great show. Love Jurassic Park. Love all of them. I actually got to see Jurassic World the other day, so great flick. I think you'll enjoy it. Well, anyway, that's the good, the not so bad, and the ugly. So, Barry, what have you been playing?
Well, in Paris, Paris Ludique, I got to play a new game from Cocktail Games. I can't find it on Board Game Geek. And it's a game called, I've loaded the picture already. What are you doing? Push the right button, you monkey. Oh, it's a game called Pizza Time. And there it is. There's a pizza you make. You have these, each player has these 4 cards. As you can see, they all got pictures of pizza on them. And they all got different ingredients like the cheese, the mushroom, the olives, and the peppers. And they all got different amounts of numbers. And basically what will happen is there's 4 cards in the middle. You mix them up. There's 4 piles of cards. So there's cheese, olives, peppers, and mushrooms. And then you turn them over, and they've got a quantity amount on each one. And then it's a race game. The first player to create a pizza by flipping these tiles and arranging them to get 2 out of the 4 ingredients wins a point. And then the level goes up as the game goes on. So there's 6 rounds. You do 2 rounds where you need to get 2 of the requests from the orders. And then there's 3, and then there's 4. And the game is really... Well, I'm not going to say anything yet. I'm not going to say anything. What do you think I think of this game, Burky?
Oh, what do I think you think? Well, gosh. It's hard not to let it out of the bag, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got a feeling you're going to say...
Ooh, you are so correct, mister. Yes, it's not a bad game. It's not a great game. It's not something you're going to play all the time. It is a fun game for kids. And again, it's one of those things that you can just break open at a party and just play with a group of friends. It plays up to 6 players, so it's just like quick to do. And that version that we played was like, they were like beer coaster size, but I'm sure that the box will be a bit smaller. The art's cute and adorable, and it's a simple little kind of game. So... Pizza Time by Cocktail Games. Look out for that in the future.
Yeah, that looked really interesting. Well, we've been playing something that's been it's been out for a while, but this is kind of one of these what I would consider one of these evergreen type of games, but it's a twist on the theme of an evergreen type of game. And can you guess what that might be, Barry?
An evergreen? Is it Log Forester version 7?
No, this is really one of the games that when I started really getting into European type of games, I really cut my teeth on the base of this game, and that was this.
Agricola.
Not quite. Oh, look at it in all its glory. It's Star Trek Catan by Mayfair Games. Now, of course, I'm referring to Catan. Oh, the Empire. That's the wrong film. Wrong film.
Sorry. They probably didn't see that I was doing that. No, I'm not a Star Wars fan, honest. Go on, carry on. Sorry.
Well, love Catan. I still enjoy Catan. You know, I know people kind of have gotten past that because it's had some age to it, but we still enjoy playing Catan. The player interaction is really good. What's really nice about Star Trek Catan is that, you know, not only are you in the Star Trek universe, this is kind of cool. Star Trek Catan came out with these separate mats at Gen Con 2 years ago. And I was over in the Mayfair booth section, and I was playing Star Trek Catan. I love Star Trek. And I ended up playing a game. I sat down next to this guy who happened to be the designer of the actual new maps. And we had this huge, long discussion about how much time they put into making sure that they named each one of these sectors and planets so that it was really true to Star Trek canon. I even have a signed copy.
You sit next to the greatest people in the world. You don't know who they are. And all of a sudden, oh, well, you like that game? Wow, I actually designed that game. Oh, no, you like that game? It was me that made that little meeple out of pixels from a computer game. I had to like put my hand in the screen and rip the pixels out and then construct it. Every time you got an interesting story like that, you met someone and they did this.
Well, it was really fun to meet the guy, and he was really passionate. And the thing I like about Star Trek Catan is that not only does it have the normal playing and so forth, but it has all these Star Trek cards. You can see I've placed that up there. Each one of the original cast members has a special ability. which is really cool. If you have Captain Kirk, for instance, if you have Captain Kirk, that means that you can move your token away from the Klingon Marauder.
Sorry.
But there's all kinds of, they've got Uhura and Scotty and Sulu and all the main characters, and they all give you a little bit of thing, and you can do two things with them. You can use it once, or you can use it twice by flipping it over. After you've used it twice, you swap it out with one of those other ones, and they just give you a little extra special player ability. And that's one thing that I think is kind of interesting about it. So what do you think I think about Star Trek Catan, Barry?
It's Star Trek. It's Star Trek. You think it's good. There you go. That was a simple one.
That was just too simple, wasn't it?
It was too simple.
It's absolutely very good. Come on, baby. I am sure having troubles with this. Did it get on there?
You've
Nope.
got tribbles in your computer. Well, yes, he thinks it's good, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
It's good.
Like me. I love Catan. I like Catan so much. I've written a song about Catan. So it's just sitting down and getting to be able to record it and make a video for it and then post it out. So keep your eyes posted for a song about Catan by me. Ooh, yes, Catan is just fun. It's simple. It can be annoying if the dice rolls don't go your way, but there's ways to mitigate that. So
yeah, there is, and there's a lot more strategy in that game than I think people give it credit. You do have dice rolling, and I understand that, and that, but it's still a lot of fun. It's light, it's easy to teach, and then you throw Star Trek on top of it. Hey, it's a winner in my book. So what else have you been playing, Barry?
well, another game I got to play because I was at Paris Ludique for a very short time. We got to play quite a few kids' games because I've got my daughter, and it was a family day out. And we went over to, I can't remember what booth it was, Blue Cocker, I think it was. And no, it was Superlude. Superlude. They have this game here, which looks really cute, called Maître Renard, which is Master Fox. And it's basically, it's a kids game. It's a lovely kids game with little Pac-Man figures, but they're not Pac-Man really. Each player has a mask, which they put on their head. But before they put their mask on their head, you deal out 3 cards, and that's the objects that you've got to steal as a fox. You're breaking into a farm and you're stealing, and there'll be things like sheep, chickens, ducks, and horses and cows. And each of the wooden pieces, if you can see it properly on your screen, is a different animal. So you play a couple of rounds where you're stealing animals. You put this blindfold over your head, and you use one hand, and all the players have got their hand in this box where the shapes are. They take 3 objects out. When one player has 3 objects in the hand, they shout stop. You look at the objects, and if they're correct, you get a point for them. If they're not correct, you lose a point for them. And after a couple of rounds, you introduce some more objects. So there's like cheese, and then there's like snakes, which give you special powers. And after about 6 rounds, the game ends, and the player with the most points is the winner. That's it.
Wow. Well, that looks interesting.
Yes, it's a very touchy-feely game for kids, which sounds wrong. Sorry.
Well, I would probably have to say that you probably think it's not so bad.
Ooh, you're reading. We're reading minds tonight. Yes. It's not so bad. It is what it is. It's looking for chickens because he wants a chicken now. And
Tastes like chicken.
It's just a very light. Yeah. Everything tastes like chicken. It's just a light kids game, which uses your senses of feeling. And it's adorable. It's not really replayable for adults, but for kids, they just want to go again. Go again. Let's play again. Let's play till 20 points. Let's play to 50 points. First one of 50. But yeah, it is just a really nice produced game. Small. I don't know what the price is. Again, I don't know if this is out in America yet because I think it is coming soon. But not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
And what else have you been playing in Burky? Oh,
Well, I've been playing an older game. Kind of interesting. I actually picked this up on a Kickstarter when they did the remake of Thebes. Thebes, the card game, and Thebes, the regular game. And Queen Games was offering Big Box Alhambra.
Ooh.
And it's so happened gaming group that we got together, and my buddy has the base game. I actually haven't got my big box out of shrink wrap yet, and I had never played it. And we had a little bit of time to kill before the rest of the game group came, so we played a quick game of the base game of Alhambra. You can see that picture there. And basically in Alhambra, for those of you that don't know, you're building in Spanish Alhambra. And by doing so, you connect with these different cards that allow you to play, that you purchase different spots. And each of those different spots in your Alhambra give you points. But there's walls that are around these different buildings. And when you're putting them down, you have to make sure that these walls are connected, and you get points for how many of those walls are connected. There's really a cool something that I haven't quite seen before like this in the set collection of these cards. If you pay the exact amount, if say the card costs 6 and you pay the exact amount, 6, you get to take another action, which I found that to be kind of interesting. And we played that game with just a couple of us until the rest of our game group arrived. And what do you think I thought about that, Barry?
Ooh, this is a tough one because I have Alhambra, the base game, and we play it quite a lot because it's a very easy game for people to get into. And when my parents come round, they kind of picked it up similarly easily because of there's 4 currencies, and I always make the mistake of like buying a green tile with green money when it's not. It's in the wrong space. It's on the blue space, so you got to buy it with blue money. But I think I'm stalling as much as I can, Burky. Have you got your picture ready?
I do.
I need some more coffee. I think that you think that this game is not bad.
Well, I'm sorry. I got to put it right up there and really good. I mean, this is a Spiel des Jahres winning board game. It fits right in my wheelhouse. I love family weight games. I like heavier games and so forth, but I really enjoy those family weight games. This is the type of game that I can play with my kids and play with my wife. And the 3 of us that played the game, we just had a blast. We were able to pick it up really quickly, but there was a lot of strategy and there was a lot of tension when someone would grab a building when we wanted to grab that building. And so there was that kind of fun. And man, I just really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to break out my big box and get all the expansions in there and find out which ones of those are the best. So I'm not sure why I haven't played it up to now.
Yeah, that's a good question. Why haven't you played up to now, Kevin?
Oh, good grief. We're going to be talking a little bit later here about gaming awards, and you see all the games that are listed, and then I look at my shelf and the games that I have still in shrink wrap going, I can't even get to these games.
Oh dear, you've got an illness there, mate. I'm afraid you need to go see a doctor. If you can't take it out of shrink wrap and just like punch out the punch outs, even. Ooh, I've got games on my shelf which are not in shrink wrap, but they've been punched out, and I've stroked the cards and I've smelt the plastic in the box, and then I put the lid on and I put it on the shelf again. Maybe tomorrow I'll find someone to play that with.
Well, I just need to go to the doctor to get inoculation, and it's something that's called the anti-job inoculation.
Yeah.
And then maybe I could get there. But I'd have to give an inoculation to all my gaming friends too, so they would be inoculated against job, and then we'd all have time to just play games.
Whenever I see on Twitter, you've got like 50 pictures of like your family around a table playing 10 different games in one night. I'm like, I can't even do that.
Well, we try to have game night every Tuesday night, and then every other week I get to play. I usually go up to my two daughters' house. They live up about 50 miles from here, and I get together with them, and we have a game night. So, and sometimes on the weekends, then we get some time. But life is busy. I think that's the problem everybody has: too many games and not enough time.
Yeah. Maybe one day when you retire, you'll forget all the rules and forget that you love playing games. Yes,
Now,
I have that dream.
Oh, that's the. Tell you, how many games do you get to that you haven't played it for a while, and how long does it take you to refresh your mind back in the rules of these games, or at least the strategy of the game?
Ooh, that's a good question. Normally, I've kind of like prevision what games I'm going to play on a night. So I like run through my head while I'm in the bath or when I'm on the toilet, and I run through the rules in English and then in French because so yeah, I normally before a games night I choose some games in my head. I run through the rules beforehand, and so I've got a good general idea before I actually go in and say, let's play this. And then someone says, no, I don't want to play that. I want to play that over there. What's that over there? And it's like, oh no, it's Hanabi.
Well, is there any other games that you wanted to talk about, Barry?
There was. I've got no pictures or any art because it's a brand new game which is not out yet. I just dug these up. These are my tickets for Paris Ludique. Oh yes, it cost €5 for the weekend. €5, and it was lovely, lovely day. There were all the French publishers there, and I got this little promo for. I don't know if you know this game.
Yeah,
Colt Express. Yeah, there's a promo here. Well. Yeah, there's a 2 and 3 player variant. Which is going to be in the expansion, which comes out later next year, 2016, called Marshals and Prisoners. And then there's another variant here for another expansion, which is coming out in October, called Horses and Diligence. I'm trying to translate in French. It's Chevaux et Diligence. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like you can get on horses and ride around the train, jump off the train and stuff. So yeah, Paris Ludique. I got to play a new game, another new game from Cocktail Games. And before I go any further, I have to say, Matthew at Cocktail Games, thank you very much for looking after my daughter. It's done. I'm choked up now. Whew. Anyway, the game we've played is called I'll translate it, Taxis of the Marne. Marne is the area of France where I live, and it's a game set in World War One. And it's a cooperative game, much like Hanabi, but everyone can see what cards everyone's got. I think that's how he explained the game anyway. You might have to not see your cards. But what you're doing is on your turn, you have 3 actions. You can move this officer around the town. There's like 8 different locations. You can distribute soldiers to one of these locations by playing a color card with a number of soldiers on it, or you can swap a card with another player. And the objective of the game is, at the beginning of your turn, you take a card, a tile. You'll know what it is because they're color coded from the back, because there's like 2 regions which are red, 2 regions which are blue, 2 regions that are green, 2 regions that are yellow. And you turn it over and it tells you what road you want to go to. So you put it down and it says, oh, it needs 3 soldiers at the Rue de Chantel, for example. So you got to move the 2 peons, French, tokens, to the right place, to the rue, and then play the card to drop off the soldiers there to remove that card. And I was going to tell you what I thought about it. Stop doing that. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. What do you think I think of this game?
What do you think of that game? Well, I'm just going to throw it out there. We probably need an ugly for the cast, so I'll say ugly.
Close.
Not so bad.
It tastes like chicken. It's not so bad. It's very much in that cooperative game, Hanabi, where you're working together to try and play the cards and get the tokens in the right place to remove the tile. It's okay. It's great art. It's great components. Nice tin. Simple gameplay. It's going to appeal to a lot of people, but not probably the hardcore gamers. And it'd be something that'll come out. Blank. Yeah, it'd be something that, it's just a light filler game kind of thing. So look out for that. It looks nice. It plays nice. And if you like those kind of Hanabi style games, this fits in perfectly with it.
Awesome. Well, I think we should just get right on to the Babble and talk about our topic for the day, Barry.
Okay, the Babble it is. And have I got any music for the Babble? Not at the moment. I'll work on some music for the Babble. But the Babble will look like this. Yes. Would you give these two monkeys a podcast? It's going well today.
What we need, Barry, is a producer. Someone that can push all the buttons. Yes. You're like the jack of all trades right now. You're a monkey with 10 fingers. You're the 6-fingered monkey.
Yeah, I got my other computer over here. It's got my Windows media player. I got my phone here waiting for an SMS. And I got my vodka here, which is helping very nicely. Hey, thank you guys. It's nice to be here.
That's a big glass of vodka. Well, the Babble topic for the day is we're going to be talking about gaming awards. We're going to talk about, there's many different types of gaming awards, but we're going to also look at which ones are the most relevant, the ones that are out there currently, and some ones that still have been yet to be done. One of the things that we saw early in the year was the BGG, or the Golden Geek Awards, were awarded. Just recently, we saw that Origins, which is produced by Gamma, I believe, put out their gaming awards. One award that's already been awarded was part of I believe it was the Kinderspiel, correct?
Yes, it was.
And that was, the game for that was Spitterfall, or
oh,
remember?
Yes. Spider-Man. The vodka is attacking me. It's like crazy here.
So the spiders, the spider game.
I'm looking.
But the Kennerspiel, the strategy game, and the Spiel des Jahres, that game, those have not been yet awarded. And then we've got the upcoming Dice Tower Awards as well. And I want to talk about a lot of those different things, but we'll talk about relevance and categories and all kinds of topics. And if anybody's online and you have some questions, we would love to have you participate with us in that.
Okay, I've got Craig Stewart, our friend from last time. He says, how are you guys doing? Are you guys cool? There's a question. Are we cool?
We're so cool. We are like really cool. Cool. There. How's that for answering your question?
I'm burning up in here. You probably see I'm brown and red. Sorry. Hot here. It's 22 degrees still, and it's 10 o'clock nearly. Oh.
Must have something to do with what's cool, in that glass. Well, first off, let's just take a look at some of these awards. I've got some paperwork here that you can see, and some awards that were just recently at Origins. There was a ton of different categories at Origins, but guess what the best board game of 2015 was?
From Origins. It was Sheriff, wasn't it?
It was Sheriff of Nottingham from Arcane Wonders. Why not the Sheriff of Nottingham? And the fan favorite was Dead of Winter from Plat Hat Games.
Mm-hmm.
The best card game at Origins was actually Splendor by Asmodee.
Woohoo!
And the And then in the best children's and family game was The Hare and the Tortoise by Aiello.
Yellow.
By Yellow.
Hello. Yellow.
And there was a ton of different categories that were listed there at Origins. I've heard a lot of different people have different commentary on whether they feel that the Origins Awards are really a good indication of what really are the best games of the year. Have you entered into that discussion a little bit, Barry?
No, I haven't. The Origin Awards don't really mean anything over here, this side of the world, as he says, clicking on the camera again. There we go. Yeah, they don't. Origin Awards are not really important this side of the pond. They're just an event that gives away awards for what they deem is a good game, and at the end of the day, a good game did win. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, this year, actually, I thought when you go through the categories, I didn't list through all of them, but I actually thought they were more relevant than what I've seen in the past. So I thought they were better of games that I think reflected what's happening out there in the industry. The Board Game Geek, the Golden Geek Awards, obviously has a worldwide following because the geek is on the internet and people from all over the world take a look at those things. And yet there's been a lot of people that really think that gaming award is a little bit more of a popularity type of contest, really, than an indication of whether the games are the best games.
Ooh, I wouldn't say that, because the Board Game Geek Awards are everyone who is a subscriber, is a user on Board Game Geek who gets to vote. So if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. And again, most of the people on Board Game Geek are very gaming is their passion. So they know what the best games are. So when they put a list up of 50 games, you know, these people are going to select the best game, and it's not going to be a popularity competition. I mean, if Star Trek Catan, we've done that one, Star Trek Agricola comes out, is it going to be popular because it's Agricola, or is it going to be popular because it's Star Trek, or is it going to be popular because it's a good game? And I think it would be popular because it's a good game more than anything on Board Game Geek.
Yeah, I think what the argument is, I agree with you, actually. I think that the people who frequent the geek tend to be a little bit more competent regarding board games rather than just what's available. But there's also the argument that, you know, a game like Splendor, for instance, which was the winner for Board Game of the Year, because Splendor was so prolific and out there in the industry. Now, I like Splendor, but do I really think that's the best board game of the entire year? I don't think so. I like it. It's a good game, but I'd have a hard time saying that's the best designed board game out there.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I happen to think that it is the best board game of last year. I'm giving away my review. Oh dear. But yeah, for me, it was a game that you can jump into. It doesn't matter what level of intelligence you have or what level of gaming intelligence that you have. You could jump into it and you can find lots to do. And it's a game which poses a challenge, and it's a game which is not too luck based, because it's strategy and it's planning and it's just fun. There's something about it which draws you in. And compared to other games, like you're talking about Sheriff of Nottingham winning the Origins Award.
Right.
That's a game I feel will go down great with some people, and other people will just not get it, if you know what I mean. So if it was me in the Origins committee, it would be different.
I think that's probably the argument you can make with most of these, you know, depending on your gaming taste. People who like that social interaction, they're going to love a game like Sheriff. I've played with gamers in one of my game groups. They tend to be a little bit more, they like more of a Euro style game where it can be a little bit more they feel that Splendor is just too simple and it's not challenging enough. And even though I think there's a lot of replayability, because it's always going to be different, I like the game. For them, it was too light in nature. So it's going to be really dependent on your gaming taste, on how you're going to feel about these things.
And that's why I like it that there is quite a lot of different awards ceremonies for board gaming, because then you get a flavor of everything. It's like the Mesner Awards are for games. He says, looking up on the thing here, Mesner is awards given to original, challenging, and well-designed games. And people that like those type of games will obviously rotate to buying a game which has a Mesner Award on it, because it's something which is creative, something which is intelligent and well produced. Whereas something like, let's say, for example, here in France, we have Trick Track, which is the Board Game Geek, and they do an award ceremony, but they do it differently. They ask all their subscribers, all their people that use their site, to vote for any game in the history of the world to go into the award ceremony. And then what they do is they select, I think it's 32 games, and they do a face-off with each one. So each week it'd be chess versus Steam Park. And the winner will go through to the next round. And then they say Catan versus Pastiche. And it just goes like, and the winner could be any game, because it's just total random. It's not total randomness, because it's the users which provide the games, and the most popular games go through. And so, like, every week it's a question of like, okay, this week is it going to be Colt Express or is it going to be Carcassonne? And then everyone votes, and it's just for fun. It's an award for fun's sake. In comparison to Board Game Geek, which is this year, these games come out, this was the best. Mesner, these games come out, this one was the best.
Yeah, no, I think one of the things that I like about the Golden Geek Awards is there's a lot of categories, and not just board gaming. They even go to, most innovative party game, print and play, solo games, strategy games, thematic games, war games. They even have a category for best podcast. So someday, Barry, maybe we will, when hell freezes over, we can be nominated for best podcast.
Craziest idea of a podcast. Yeah.
Well,
I've got a question here from. Sorry, I've got a question from Craig. He asks, "Does an award influence whether we purchase a game or not, and how often do we play it?"
Yeah, great question. For me, if I'm looking for a game for my family that I think my wife would enjoy and that my kids would enjoy, something that we can interact with, the Spiel des Jahres, that has a big impact for me, because if it wins that, I'm usually going to be pretty interested. Now, I really disagreed with Hanabi, to be honest, because I bought it based on the Spiel, because I've enjoyed most of the Spiel games. That was not a game that my son liked it, but the rest of us really didn't care for it. And for being just such a little simple micro game like that, I was expecting that it was a Spiel des Jahres nominee would be Ticket to Ride. It would be Alhambra. It would be a game that we could really sit down and enjoy. It wouldn't be overly complicated, but so that would have been my thought there. Say that again.
Didn't the size of the box give it away?
Well, from the picture, I thought it was a great big box.
Yeah. Oh. But
yeah, but again, I thought because it won the Spiel des Jahres that it had a lot more legs than, maybe people might really enjoy that game, but that's not a game that I really care for.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think Hanabi it's a clever idea, but it's a game that you either like or hate. There's no in between, because it's a game where you're trying to put thoughts into other players' heads, and then try and read and to know what card you got. And you either is too brain exploding for you, or it's great fun. And I can take it or leave it. I still have it. I play it occasionally, and but compared to other Spiel des Jahres winners, they are better because they feel like a game. You know what I mean? Like you said, Ticket to Ride feels like a game. You've sat down at the table and spent an hour playing something. It's been challenging and it's been funny. Whereas Hanabi can be funny, or it can break into an argument if you're playing with your parents. I told you that was a 4. No, it wasn't. It was a 3. You said no. You moved that card afterwards. Oh, yeah. So
Well, I think that's exactly it. But no, this year, Colt Express is in there, and then in addition to Colt Express, their nominated was Machi Koro, and then The Game. Now, I'd never heard of The Game, so that was kind of, and I think that's been what the consensus has been over here in the States anyway, is most of us don't know why that's even in there.
No, we don't know either. It's like Cold Express, Machikoro, The Game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's I know where my money is. It's on The Game. Yeah,
well, for me, one of the things that I like too is the Kennerspiel. This year, it's got Orleans, Elysium, and Broom Service. Now, I haven't heard of Broom Service, but Elysium is getting fantastic reviews. I haven't played it yet, but a lot of my friends that I kind of know their taste really like it, so I have a feeling I'm going to like it. But I backed Orleans in the Kickstarter, and Tasty Minstrel, they do a fantastic job, and the Kickstarter of this with all the components, I'm sure is going to be fantastic. So I'm super excited about that. And the Kennerspiel is one of the awards that I really do kind of pay attention to.
Yeah, more than any other, more than Board Game Geek, more than Dice Tower, more than Mesna. Yeah.
Well, for me, that was a good segue, because this here is something set me up good. The Dice Tower
Burky,
Awards.
Where you going, Burky? I can't see you.
Did you see my image? There it is.
With a beard.
The Dice Tower Awards are now. If I were to take and make a rating of all the different awards that I'm familiar with, the Dice Tower Awards are the awards that I love the way they format it. I love the categories. I like the process. When I look at the people that are voting on this, these are industry, what I would refer to as maybe insiders. Yeah, like yourself are involved. And people who are in the gaming industry have an opportunity to review a lot of different games, have connections with designers, all kinds of different things. And for instance, this year, if you go to the Dice Tower website, best game of the year, I'm just going to give you the nominations. Look at this. We've got Alchemist, Dead of Winter, Crossroads game, Marvel Dice Masters, Avengers versus X-Men, Five Tribes, Imperial Assault, Fantasy Flight Games, Imperial Settlers from Portal. You've got Kanban from Stronghold Games, Splendor from Asmodee, Star Realms from White Wizard Games, Zaya, Legends of the Drift System, by Cody Miller. I mean, this is an amazing lineup of games that are being nominated for Game of the Year. I love the fact that there's that type of nomination process. You look at best co-op games, for instance. I'm just going to go through a few of these lists, if that's okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll try to go quick here, but Best co-op game of the year, Dead of Winter, Crossroads, Legendary Encounters, Pandemic the Cure, Shadows of Brimstone, and Witness. For best board game components, you've got Arcadia Quest, Colt Express, Imperial Assault, Splendor. Best family game, look at this, Camel Up, Diamonds, King of New York, Splendor, Spyfall. Best artwork nominees, Abyss.
Yay!
That's my pick right there. It's amazing. Alchemist, Battle of Five Armies, Imperial Assault, Imperial Settlers. Best game expansions, Seven Wonders, Babble, Cyclades, Mice and Mystics, Terra Mystica, Tuscany. Wow. The best game reprint. Now, this is a category that I think this is a significant category. How many games that are not available, and all of a sudden these companies come in, like Stronghold Games does a great job of bringing some of these games back to life and bringing them to market. Cash and Gun, 2nd edition, Doomtown Reloaded, Medina, which Stronghold did, San Juan, and then Ticket to Ride, 10th anniversary. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. Best theming, Alchemist, Dead of Winter, Imperial Assault, Legendary. The best designer, new designer. Now this is cool. Designers are getting love, and people who are just coming into the industry. Splendor, that's Marc Andre. Heroes of Normandy, Jan et Clem. There was Paperback by Tim Flowers. Alchemist by, I'm going to say this wrong, Mattis Kotri. And then Zaya, Legends of the Drift System by Cody Miller. Wow. Best party.
Good choices.
Well, best party games. Look at this. Cash and Gun, Spyfall, Good Cop, Bad Cop, Strike a Pose, Cluster Fight. Best small publisher. This kind of surprised me, actually. But Medieval Academy, I hear really great things about that. Paperback, Run, Fight, or Die. That's Richard Launius. Star Realms. You know, that's getting, Star Realms has done fantastically well.
Yeah, I mean, how many of these games are Kickstarter games and not accessible easily anywhere in a shop or whatever? That's another thing which is surprising. There's Star Realms, which was a Kickstarter project. Run, Fight, or Die, which is a Kickstarter project. Zaya was a Kickstarter project, and they're all getting this critical acclaim, and sometimes you can't really find them. Yeah,
no, I hear you. A lot of these games, I have, you know, if I were to be voting on this, there's ones that I would pick, but it would be, I don't know that I could be absolutely objective because I haven't played every one of them. So how do you make
do you want to see how I did it when I got the list from Tom?
Yeah.
I hope Tom's not watching. I got my pint of vodka, like pen, and I went that one. Okay, Splendor. Okay, Splendor. Best game, best artwork, best everything. Splendor. There you go. There you go, Tom. So Splendor's going to win a lot of awards.
Well, he's just going to kick yours out now.
You're off the committee.
You know, I was actually, you know, fairly impressed with the type of games. You know, best game of the year, I thought was really a great group of games. I'm going to give you my top 5 of what I think are the best games of the year, and I'm going to give you my personal top 5.
Yeah.
Can you guess what my #1 game of the year is?
It would have to be Star Realms.
No.
Segway.
Imperial Settlers by Ignacy Trzewiczek from Portal Games.
It's behind you.
There it is. I love it. I played it at BGG Con. I got the Why Can't We Be Friends? Why Can't We Be Friends expansion. And Ignacy even signed it for me. And anyway, I love that game. There's an expansion coming out that for two, the Atlanteans or whatever. Love it. Love it. My second game comes from Stronghold Games. Now, Stronghold, they put out a ton of games last year. I mean, they're rocking it. I mean, Stephen Bonacore, they're rocking it.
He definitely
guess
is,
what?
yeah.
What do you think the second game of the year from Stronghold would be?
Kanban.
Kanban.
Yeah, see that?
Kanban. When I first played Kanban, we ended up playing it 3 times, and it's a difficult rule set. It was hard to learn it. My son and I were going through it. He's brilliant with rules, but it just was hard getting through the rules. Once we got through the rules, everything just absolutely makes sense. I love the game. We played it and then played it again. And I heard Mike Fitzgerald at Dice Tower Live at BGG Con get up, and during his 2-minute segment, he spent a good minute and a half talking about Kanban and how beautiful that game was. And I absolutely agree. The third one, no, go ahead.
Go on, carry on. Third one.
The third one is the game that you mentioned before that we're featuring. The reason we feature games on Board Game Theater is we're going to feature games that we really love. If people submit games to us, and we might like the games, and we have to make sure they work for our concept with Board Game Theater. But one of the prerequisites is that we love the game. Sheriff of Nottingham, we love it. Luchador, Mexican Wrestling Dice, we love it. Star Realms, it's awesome. And I just think it's a brilliant little 2-player game, easy to get to the table, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've got some other lists here of the game awards. I found the Canadian Game Design Award, which is they choose 4 designers which are Canadians, and they pick a winner. And last year, in 2014, it was Super Motherload. Before that, it was Winfield Gateways, which I've never heard of. And then before that, Coven and Undermining and Octopus Garden. So it's been running a little while, but not a long time. And of course, there's the Mesna Awards, which I kind of rate quite high because they're games which make you think. And they started back in 1990, and their first prize went to Trivial Pursuit Genius Edition.
Wow.
The next year, they picked Set, and Labyrinth, and then there's Time's Up here, and there's Flux. And there's Yinch, and there's, what else we got? Quirkle, Dominion, Forbidden Islands, Forbidden Desert, Quicks Pyramid, Euphoria, Jamie Stegmaier. There he is.
Hey,
Euphoria
that's a great
in 2014.
That's a fantastic game. That won I believe the best new game board game from a small designer last year at the Dice Tower Awards. And Stonemaier Games, they do some fantastic games. I mean, you love Viticulture and Tuscany, right?
Yeah.
And Tuscany I need to learn how to play that game and get that game.
Yeah,
but Stonemaier Games, they do a great job. I really enjoy the stuff they do.
Yeah, and they hit all the points in regards to games. They just bring out a game which is perfect in components, a good game, a solid game, something which gets your brain going, something which is not too hard to play, and it's fun to play. So,
and they seem to really hit on theme too. You know, Viticulture, they're really involved in the theme. Euphoria, it's that dystopian universe that in the artwork is indicative. And they've got a new game coming out called Scythe. Have you seen some of the artwork?
Fantastic, they are.
Oh,
that's incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait. So, you know, and Jamie and is it Greg Stone? They come up with the treasure chests as well, and it's amazing stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, going back to award. Do you think there are too many awards out there, or do you believe that it's fine to have lots and lots of different types of awards for games?
Well, I think it's good. I think that each of these gaming awards have different audiences, and
Hmm.
that having different audiences can maybe skew how those awards, are given. Um, but I don't, I think you get a game designer, a game publisher, or whatever. I mean, they're getting recognized for producing something, and I think that's good for everybody. So I don't have a problem with it. I just probably might disagree with which ones, for me, are going to be the most relevant.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I think having a lot of game awards is like having a lot of board game reviewers. You can see how many of them say this is a 10 out of 10 game and how many of them say this is a 5 out of 10 game. And then you can get a good idea of this is a great game. And then put inside that the thought of, is this a game that I'm going to want to play as well? Because you can't just buy games because Tom says they're the best game in the world. Yeah, go for it. Yay!
Mhm.
But you've got to be able to want to play it. It's got to be a theme that you're going to want to play. It's got to appeal to you, the mechanics, everything. So having more awards is a good thing, because if the box is just like nothing but awards on it, it's been recommended by big names in the industry. Well, not in the
Yeah.
industry, but in the world. Yeah.
Well, again, a little plug there for the Dice Tower. If I were rating all of them, the Dice Tower awards for me are the most relevant because I like the categories. I have familiarity with a lot of the reviewers out there and kind of understand their tastes a little bit. And when that community comes together, and it's a pretty significant community that's doing this, it's not just five guys doing it. I mean, I think last I looked, there was like 90 some. That might be incorrect, but there's quite a few people who are involved in it, and these are industry insiders. And to me, that really defines too that you've got people who are objective, have different tastes, but are looking at the overall production of these different categories, and they're saying this is a
Mhm.
good game. This is really something to take a look at. And so when I see those awards, I like, yeah, maybe I should try that.
Yeah, they are all games that people should be playing because they have theme, they have great components, they have great gameplay. And in choosing the games is quite hard sometimes when you say, "Oh, is this one better than that one, or is that one better than this one?" Ah! And it oh, I'm growing my hair back. I did pull it out the other week, but it's grown back. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Good selection.
Well, Craig asked that question about these awards too, and does it influence our purchases? If I see a Dice Tower logo on the corner of a box, it definitely means something to me. Just like if I saw the Spiel des Jahres logo on the corner of a box. I
Mm.
think I think those gaming awards help get more games out also to the public, and that helps the hobby.
I had a strange thought today. Yeah, on boxes they put the awards what they've won, and it's really nice and pretty cute. But if board games started to do the same like what films do, where they put like a quotation of a reviewer, so the reviewer might have hated the film but said something which they thought, oh, in their name. So if Tom Vassell said that Hanabi was an interesting idea, but he hated it, and they write interesting idea, Tom Vassell, on the box, do you think that where am I going? Where am I going? Do you think that is going to be something which is going to crop up in our future, where they don't actually put awards on, but they put quotations from Tom and Undead Viking and Rodney Smith? Not that Rodney would ever criticize anything. Do you think that will happen in our future of our hobby?
Well, publishers and marketing people are going to put things that put everything in a positive light. So if they do, it will be positive, and it'll probably be on the back or the sides of the boxes, things of that nature. I think award stickers and things like that that are more prolific will be more of a marketing thing than quotes. But I could be wrong about that. The industry's growing.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's growing fast and big. The amount of companies that I saw on Saturday.
Well, and it's like you go to Gen Con and it's just a flurry of activity with these companies, and Gen Con in particular is this is a big deal when these companies, because they get a positive nomination or they get a positive award, it's going to be blasted over all of their banners. I mean, it's going to have logos all over the place. And I mean, immediately, Arcane Wonders, they won the Sheriff of Nottingham. Well, they're giving thanks and kudos to all the different people involved. And it's all about the buzz on the Twitter and the Facebook and everything else. And rightfully so. But it's good for them. And I think it's good for the industry.
Yeah, I agree. It's good for the industry. And as you said, you're tuning with one of the awards because the games will be your type of game. So you'll rely on the winners of each year for a award to be the good games which go into your collection. Like, as you said, these Dice Tower ones, these Builder Showers ones. Yeah. I'm
working on a little comedy video actually for a Board Game Breakfast segment that I'm going to actually have some interesting characters talking about gaming awards. So we'll see how that turns out. I think characters might have an opinion on it too.
Yeah. All played by your fabulous son, Joshua, yeah?
Josiah, yeah.
Oh, Josiah, pardon. Well,
yeah, fantastic. I think it's a great topic. And feel free, if anybody you want to join in on our board game guild at the Board Game Geek and want to weigh in on the topic, or join us on our Facebook page, that's Facebook, Burky and Badger, or you can join us on our Twitter, also at the Burky and Badger on Twitter, and you can join the conversation. This podcast will also be recorded so that you'll be able to get a hold of us. And we would love to interact with you and get your thoughts on it. I think there's a lot of different perspectives, and we would love to get feedback on that. We know our podcast is a Google Hangout, and right now that's what we're able to do technically, and we're working on getting better and better at it. But for now, the real impetus behind this whole thing is just to have fun talking about this hobby that we love so much. And just thank you very much, Barry, for joining us again and doing this show for us and getting it out there. We sure appreciate your insights on it as well.
That's very kind of you. There you go. There's the links on the screen for you if you're watching this video live or not live, or in the future when we're all under the ground and whatever. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure, Mr. Kevin Burks Hardsmeyer, he said with his terrible Sherman accent. Yeah, it's been a great subject. Again, if there's any awards in the gaming industry that we haven't mentioned, maybe leave a comment down below this video, and so we can go check them out and maybe bring it up another time in another Burky and Badger Babble thing.
Yeah, one thing too that I think we would love to get interaction going forward about additional shows. Like we have our good, the bad, the not so bad, and the ugly segment. And if you have a theme that you think we could play off that would be a relevant theme, we would love to get your insight into that too. And you could send some kind of tweet to Barry to help keep him awake right now. And
I'm struggling.
Well, I think that's a good segue to sign off then, buddy.
Yeah. I think that's a great. Thanks for watching, people. Sorry if I go cauliflower brained. These long hours are killing me. Hopefully, I'll be wide awake for the next show.
It's been great, guys. So long.
Yeah, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.
We're so glad we had this time together. Now it's time to go. It won't be long. We'll have another show. So keep us in mind. Get online. Burky and Badger will be back in no time.